Hello YouTube friends and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Deidre from Our Upcycled Life and lots of thrifting, upcycling, repurposing, and DIY content. Today's video is all about grabbing stuff out of your recycling bin and upcycling it into beautiful home decor that you can virtually do for free because you probably have all the products already in your craft supplies. So, lots to show you, lots of inspiration. Let's get started. For my first project, we're going to upcycle this Crown Royal bottle. We're going to give it a couple coats of my homemade chalk paint. The chalk paint adheres really well to glass. We're going to let it really dry in between each coat, and for my last coat, I like to sponge it on. It will get rid of any brush marks that you have in your paint. We're then going to let it completely dry, and then we're going to put a graphic on. This is a graphic that I designed. I made sure to reverse the text, and it says, "Wash your hands." You're not going to believe what I turned this into. It is so practical, but so beautiful. I'm using my Mod Podge reverse graphic transfer method, and I'm going to center it right in the middle of that Crown Royal bottle where the label was. Let it dry completely, 24 hours, and now it's the next day. I'm dampening the paper and rubbing it off, and you're going to be left with a beautiful graphic on this bottle. I wanted to attach a little tag to the top of the bottle. We are going to custom make a napkin. I'm using some crafter's tape along a piece of computer paper, putting it right down into the 1 ply of napkin, pressing it down so we make sure that it's firmly attached, cut off the extra. And I've designed a graphic. I'm going to put it through my printer and print it off on this napkin, and we have a custom made napkin. I'm painting this tag, letting it dry, and now we're going to decoupage this please onto the tag, but we're going to use cling wrap. This is such a great technique, and if you haven't tried it, you need to give it a try. I'm using the cling wrap. I cut it just a little bit bigger than the wooden tag. We're going to center that custom made napkin right in the middle of that tag, and then we're going to put it on some parchment paper, put some parchment paper on top of it, and then we're going to iron it on the highest setting with no steam. Once it's completely attached to that wooden tag, we're going to take a sanding block and just sand off that extra napkin, and this is now attached to the tag and it looks beautiful. Now we're going to seal everything up with an outdoor polyacrylic sealer. Because this is going to be in the bathroom, we want to make sure that it's sealed really well. This will not make it waterproof, but it will make it water resistant. Now this is just pure luck, but the top off of that soap container that I got at the dollar store that we used up actually fits on the top of the Crown Royal bottle. So when we're all finished doing this, we will have a soap dispenser. I'm just adding some embellishments before we finish it off. I'm going to tie that tag on, fill it up with soap from that soap dispenser from the dollar store. I spray painted the top so it would be a nice matte black color, and upcycled Crown Royal bottle. Now here's a really cute way to use up packing paper. We get so much in our packages that just gets thrown out. Of course, I can't save it all, but when I have little projects that I can use even a little bit up with, it makes me happy. So we're going to put together a little booklet using some packing paper. I love making these little booklets up for gifts, but they're also great for me to make little reminder books that I can write notes as I'm working away and not forget. I've cut all the paper down to the size that I want it for my little booklet, but I want to print on that piece of paper for the front. I put it on a piece of computer paper, taped it down, and then centered it where I wanted it on that piece of brown paper and put it through my printer. And now we're just going to put it all together and staple it, and you've created a really cute personalized book from packing paper from the recycling bin. You can customize this so many different ways. You can add as many pages as you want, and it just feels good when you can save a little bit from the recycling bin and the landfill. And we've created this cute little book. If you've been following along here, you know I never throw out my glass jars or my lids. What I love to do is I love to tint the glass. This is a really easy DIY. I like to use some food coloring. I got this pack off of Amazon. It's all kinds of different colors, so you can make all kinds of different tinted glass. And I just use my Elmer's school glue and the food coloring, swirl it in the jars, make sure it's covered really well, and then put it in the oven on your lowest setting until it goes translucent. I'm going to turn this pickle jar into a kind of coastal vibe lantern. You're just going to need some dollar store jute or twine and know how to do a lark's head knot and just a simple knot. And we're going to create a really nice rope feature on the outside of this pickle jar. I have a full tutorial on how to tint the glass from start to finish. I'll put the link down below in the description if you want to try that technique yourself. I've just cut a piece of jute the same size as the top of the lid and added some twine along the top using a lark's head knot. And now we're just going to tie some knots all along the first row of this twine, and we're going to create a diamond pattern alternating between the twine on each row. Once it's all finished, I have a battery operated candle I'm putting in the bottom, and it looks beautiful, and there's so many different colors that you can use, and I just think it gives this great beach vibe. Okay, these are a lot of fun. These are spice jars, and I've saved them out of the recycling bin. We're gonna turn them into pet treat containers. You want to make sure when you're painting plastic that you use a spray paint made for primer on plastic first, and then you can paint anything on top of it. So I've put the spray paint primer on top, and now I'm going over that with some homemade chalk paint. And I'm giving each plastic container 2 coats of the chalk paint. Now we're going to do our Mod Podge reverse graphic transfer method. I've designed these graphics and made sure to reverse the text, and we're going to use this Decoupage by DecoArt. It's the exact same product as Mod Podge to apply these graphics onto these spice bottles. These graphics are available in my Etsy store if you're interested in trying out this project for yourself. I'm going to make sure I have them centered exactly where I want them, and then we're going to set them aside and let them dry completely. Once they're dried, we're going to dampen them with a little rag with some water and then rub off the paper. And we're left with these really cute cat and dog treat graphics on these upcycled spice jars. We want to make sure that we seal these really well so we can wipe them down. They won't be waterproof, but they'll be water resistant. And I'm using this spray lacquer, and it seals everything up really well. So if you're a dog or a cat lover, grab these spice containers out of your recycling bin and make some of these treat containers. Now we've upcycled the glass jars. Let's do some lids now. I like to spray paint lids by putting a piece of packing paper underneath the lid, screwing it back on the glass jar, and spraying it with some spray paint, and it works fantastic, so you don't have to fiddle with trying to paint them. I'm adding a piece of cardboard that I've cut into the circle a little bit smaller than the lid, and we're going to make a custom quote to put on the inside of this lid. I've cut this scrapbooking piece of paper down to a size of a computer piece of paper, put it through my printer, and printed this quote on it. And now I'm going to decoupage it inside of that lid, centering it, and make sure that it's stuck down really well. Now I'm going to make a beautiful fringe to go around the outside of that jar lid. Now let's get that jute string from the dollar store out again, and we're going to make that beautiful fringe with some lark's head knots. We want to make the first string a little bit bigger than around the size of the jar, and then we're going to cut a whole bunch of smaller pieces of twine, and we're going to attach it to that main piece of twine using the lark's head knot. Now this took a little bit of time, definitely going to be worth it though. We're going to now hot glue it on the outside of that jar lid. And then we're going to add a magnet on the back of that jar lid, and all made from a lid out of the recycling bin. And how adorable is this? These make fantastic gifts also. So I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. Get out to your recycling bin and see what's in there that you can upcycle and transform. And let me know down in the comments which one's your favorite. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. And if you love this video, I'm sure you'll love either of these next two. Take care.